This episode of The Inspiration Show is so incredibly special because it's the 100th episode. Today's inspiration has impacted me ever so greatly as an actor, a dancer, as a person, and has been such a powerful role model for me and truly one of my personal heroes. I am so beyond excited and honored to welcome the incredibly talented Tilly Evans Krueger to The Inspiration Show for episode 100. Tilly, thank you so much for being here. I have so much love and admiration for you, and it truly means the world to me to have you here for this milestone episode.
Thanks, Allison. It's so nice to be here. So great to be here. I'm excited and nervous to talk, but we're gonna have fun.
Oh, you're
And
the
yeah,
So, when did you first fall in love with dance, and what was it about dance that kind of drew you in and made you gravitate towards it?
well, dance is in my family. Like it's been in my family for generations. My grandparents, actually, I grew up with my grandparents, and they were cloggers. I first started dancing as a clogger on like the back of semi trucks. They had the platforms where you would be like clogging in the parades. And but my mom was actually a really amazing dancer, and I think my love for dance was really me wanting to connect with her deeper. And I would see like pictures of her and just like wanting to emulate her. I actually have some right here I can show you. Here's a picture here. That's my mom. I keep her by my side. But yeah, so dance has just always been like in my blood, it feels like.
Yeah, like mother, like
Mhm.
daughter, that's so
Mhm.
special.
Yeah,
So could you share what your dance journey was like growing up and how it shaped you?
sure. Like I said, I started out clogging. My grandfather was also a drummer, so rhythm was something that I loved. But basic like training at a dance studio in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, Kale School of Dance. Shout out to them. And it was a competition studio, but not really, not like intensely. We would go to like two competitions per year, so I don't really consider that a competition studio. But then I went to the Point Park Summer Intensive, and that was my first kind of like, oh, this is kind of what the dance world looks like. And it was cool because when I was 16, I met these dancers who were starting to be like super serious, like this is the direction I want to take. And I still know some of them to be dancers now. Super wild. But then I went to school at Wright State University. I auditioned for like 9 different schools, and um, but Wright State is connected to the Dayton Contemporary Dance Company. So I was really interested in getting like the professional side, but then also being in more of a structured place because I think I needed that still to have structure. I wasn't quite ready to go off and just like do my own thing yet. I commend people who can and do, but I think I needed a little bit more support. Yeah, so Wright State University, and then was with a pre-professional company at Dayton Contemporary Dance Company. So I did that for 3 years, and then I joined their first company full time my senior year of college, and I only had one online class, so I got that done and joined them for 2 years. Then did concert dance. I began my professional career, and the first thing outside of Ohio was Spectrum Dance Theater with Donald Byrd in Seattle, Washington. Really wild time there. Did a lot of hiking outside of that, Mount Rainier. Began to rock climb a lot, began to run a lot. That city and that state is so beautiful and so inspiring. Just like makes you want to be outside all the time. Um, but then after a season, I moved back to the city, because I was like in love at the time. And we had been doing long distance for 3 years, and it was time to like try it out. So I moved for love. Um, and so when I got to the city, I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. Eventually I wanted to be in New York, but it was just like propelled a little bit sooner. But I got super lucky because that summer Sonia Tyre was auditioning for her concert dance piece at New York Live Arts. So she had a residency there. Sonia Tyre is Moulin Rouge choreographer and now Black Swan coming in and a ton of other things. But um yeah, so it was on Dance NYC. I sent an email and I was like, hey, I know you're not, oh, they weren't looking for females at the time. They were only looking for male dancers because they had most of their company. So I think they were looking for something really specific. But I emailed her anyways, and I was like, hi, just to let you know, like I really want to audition. Here's my resume. I don't know if I sent her a reel. I think I just sent her a resume and an email. Then she invited me to come in and then I ended up joining that residency with some of the best dancers and best people, and still are like, they're my family in New York, and that was like 10 years ago. I then went on to dance with, that was like a 6 month, I think, residency, but after that, I danced with Body Traffic, Peter Chu, Camille A. Brown, toured with her a couple of times. And then I started to get into musical theater. That transition was interesting because I just I felt like I felt like I was kind of ready to make I wanted to elevate in a way that felt financially uplifting, um, benefit wise, union wise, and I don't think that concert dance offers the best support for that. And even now, I think that a lot of dancers are still fighting to find um, greater support in this profession. And I was young and also had been doing it for a while and didn't know of a company that was really like, there's only a couple in the country that are with the union. Um, yeah, and I'm sure that that's a whole nother conversation with a lot of a lot of things that we could talk about. But yeah, so I decided to go into musical theater because of longevity.
Yeah.
Um, this is a lot. I'm giving you a lot of information.
I'm living for it, please.
Okay. 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 Well, Sonia started doing choreography for musical theater. And I was like, what is this thing? It looks like it is good, maybe fun. And and then I auditioned for this play Downtown musical Downtown. It was called The Lucky Ones. And it was written by the Banksons, who are incredible. And they also wrote 100 Days. They also have uh, a musical that is, oh my gosh, at the Fringe in, I don't know, in the UK right now, I think. Um, but I think it's called Ohio. I'm just obsessed with them. But anyways, I got to do one of their musicals. And I didn't know anything about musical theater. I sang Happy Birthday while Abigail Bankson like harmonized over me to see if I could like keep my line. Um, Funny enough, when she sang, I harmonized with her. Not that I can sing like that. I'm not saying that like I've been training my voice, but in that room I had no idea what I was doing. Um, but yeah, I ended up doing that musical and it was amazing and I had so much fun and it opened up this world for me that I didn't know that I would love so much. Um, and then I started auditioning a little bit more for different musicals. Probably auditioned for Hamilton like 5 times, who knows? Auditioned for Moulin Rouge like probably the same like 5 times. Didn't get what like things weren't like biting right away, of course. I had things that I needed to work on. I was changing my career path. So I think it took me from when I started to try to be in musicals to like when I booked Broadway, Moulin Rouge, it was probably 3 years of like really trying to figure out how my voice worked, getting confident with it. I did like Encores City Center. I did Working, a musical. That was for like 2 weeks. So I did these little things. And then I did The Wrong Man off Broadway with um Tommy Kail was the director, Alex Lackmore was the orchestrator. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm like thinking, hold on. Oh, that's gonna kill me. Hold on, I need to look up something, Allison, because I cannot.
You
I
got it.
can't.
I know
I
it's gonna like come to you
can't.
and then
No,
it's gonna
no, no,
bother
no,
you.
no.
Oh no, I know.
I
I know you
cannot
when like
do it.
names are on the tips of your tongue, it's like
Oh my God. This is bad though. No, this is bad that I'm forgetting this.
no, 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 you're good. You've done so
Oh, Ross
much.
Golan. Ross Golan. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God. Yeah. The amazing writer who's done like he's like written for Ariana Grande.
Yeah. And
Like for so many top
no full
artists, and I
circle.
like and I love him so much, and he was able to like write a freaking song in 2 seconds, and it stayed in the show, and it was like one of my favorites. Anyways, I love him. Yeah, but he was the writer of the show, and that was like, oh, I really want to do this because Travis Wall was the choreographer, and it was finally kind of like the beginning of like contemporary, like real, like meaty contemporary dance meshing with this medium. And Sonia was also like building that like while The Wrong Man was going on with Moulin Rouge, I feel. And I feel like Moulin Rouge really set the standard for contemporary dance on and Camille Brown, of course, set the standard for contemporary dance as well. They're very different styles, very different approaches, but like I feel like super heightened movement for musical theater, new age, I would say. Um, yeah. And so I was like, oh, I love this. It's like the craft at its highest and also mixed with the storytelling of this medium. Yeah. Okay. So then I booked Moulin Rouge after The Wrong Man, and then I began my journey. And I think maybe a year after, well, the pandemic happened, but a year after COVID happened, the Outsiders came along. Yeah, so we started back, auditioned for The Outsiders in 2022, I think, then booked it, then got asked, I think, that weekend if I would be the associate choreographer, which was such a surprise to me and super grateful for that. And then began my journey with them, and now I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So we touched on it a little bit, but after growing up with dance, how did theater kind of like enter your life? And when did you realize that this was a passion of yours and like something that you actually had a love for that you wanted to go and do?
Yeah, I would say it's that moment of like, I was in concert dance and there were just things that I wanted, more stability, more like honestly, more stability and more support by the system. But I don't think that's what drew me to musical theater. I've always been an actress, like even as a child, Shirley Temple was like the person who I was looking up to and trying to emulate when I was 5. It wasn't just dance, it's always been storytelling. So I didn't realize that until I reconnected with this space and I was like, "Oh, I've actually always loved and I've always loved singing. I haven't always been able to sing with confidence like you have to in order to like get the job and be on Broadway or do musical theater in general. But once I got my confidence up with singing and formed this like triple um,
Triple
this
threatness.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't I hesitate to say that because I'm like I'm not a true triple threat. I don't want anyone to get it mixed. But
No.
like I'll take it. Triple like second.
I always say two and
second
a half.
threat.
I
Yeah, like
always
two and
say
a
two
half.
and a half threat because I'm in the exact
Yeah.
same boat as you. I got
Yeah.
my acting down, I got my dancing down, but my singing is like a solid,
Yeah.
let's go like 6 out of 10.
Yeah, let's
So
say that. Let's say
I'm
that.
with
Let's say
you
that.
on that. Two and a half threat.
Two and a half threat. Then I realized like it's been from the beginning. Like I've always loved this. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, so can you take us back to the first time you experienced theater and what was going through your head at the time?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I saw, well, I would like to actually take it back to like Nutcracker.
Yeah.
So that's not musical theater, but it was theater. It was the first experience that I had with theater and just the grandness of it. And I would be backstage actually watching because my grandmother was the makeup artist of our like local, if anyone's ever been to Madison, Wisconsin, if you've been to Madison, Wisconsin, because a lot of tourists stop there, but the what's it called? Whatever, the big theater there. I should know this. Um, yeah, our Nutcrackers would be in like the biggest theater in the city, and I remember asking, well, my grandma always tells this story, but she was like, I remember when you asked me when are you gonna be on that big stage, and I would like warm up with the director would allow me to warm up with them. I was so little, like I wasn't in the piece yet. I wasn't in the Nutcracker yet, but yeah, so I got to experience the theater from a very young age from backstage and like just like being on my grandmother's like tales, just watching everything happen. So I fell in love with it so from a very like whimsical place. Um yeah, and knowing the ins and outs of like what happens backstage and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So, what would you say really inspired you to become a performer and who's been an inspiration of yours throughout your career?
Mm, that's a good question. What inspired me to become a performer? I don't I feel like I don't know if it was ever a real choice. I think it's just like the thing that it's the only thing that I ever felt I excelled at. Um, and it's the only thing that really takes me into a peaceful state kind of effortlessly. Um, Performing takes me into a peaceful state. And that's something that I wanted to feel more often than not. Um, so I chose that, and I chose to work my butt off, um, to be able to not just do it at a level. I knew that if I chose it, I needed to really excel at it because I didn't want to be struggling. I didn't want to be a struggling artist. I wanted to be an artist that could actually like make a living and do this. Um, yeah. A person who has inspired me. I actually texted her the other day because we don't really speak that often, but I'm so inspired by her. Rena Butler, who is a concert dancer. Um, my the rehearsal director of DCDC, Shauna Hickman Matlock, she was very inspiring to me growing up. And I don't know. I'm always inspired by so many people around me, honestly. Like I every single room that I'm in, I feel like there's so much to soak in. So right now it would be my castmates at The Outsiders. Like truly there's so much to learn from each and every one of them.
Yeah. Oh, such an
Oh,
incredible.
and obviously Danya Taymor, just
Yes,
shouting that out.
Tanya. Shout out, Tanya.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously, I know that cast is so special and just watching you all do your thing, like the sweetest people. And I'm so grateful that you've all taken me under your wings and just getting to watch you shine is just the greatest privilege in the world. Uh, so
The privilege is ours.
when did you discover that you wanted to become a choreographer? And what was the defining moment that you knew that creating was part of your path?
Mm. I think during COVID, because dance wasn't something that, we were isolated for however many months. But Josh Prince of Dance Lab New York was doing this online incubator called Nexus Lab. So you got to apply as a choreographer, and if you got selected, you would have four dancers that you could work with and create with online on Zoom. And he selected me to be one of the choreographers. He was the first one, I think, who really believed in me and said, if you want to do this, like you got it, and like let's go. So that was a really cool space. And it was the first time I really got to work with professional dancers because I had choreographed a lot, like on studios and through the competition world, and that was always really lovely, but I never really saw it going past to there until COVID, when there was, I don't know, I think there was just like this calling for it. And I think because there was so much more space and time to actually ponder and think, um, so I often thought about dance. Um, yeah. And then once I did the associate work here with the Coopermans. And I think I'm so grateful for their trust in me every day. Um, and then working with Danya, I got to, or Danya asked me to do a play, and that was like 5 years ago now. We're on our fifth show together, I think, with John Proctor. So Evanston Salt Cost Climbing was the first show that I did with Anya, and that was the first time like I felt like someone was like, "Hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and so please let's play together." So I feel like Danya is like my sister in art, and I'm really grateful um for her belief in me, and yeah, and she has taught me so much. And like with through her lens of the way she views the story and movement throughout an entire story is really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, my two favorites. What a power duo. Literally the definition of a power duo.
that's
So,
sweet.
as someone who has performed and choreographed, how does your perspective as a dancer influence the way that you choreograph?
Mm. Wait, can you say that again?
So, as a performer and a choreographer, how does
Hmm.
you personally, like also being a dancer, influence the way that you choreograph?
Mm. I feel like does dancing inform? Well, the thing is, I've done a lot of plays.
Hmm.
So I actually feel like choreographing has more so influenced the way that I dance.
Oh,
And
wow.
like watching people do the movement that I set has made more of an impact on me than the opposite. Like I love being able to teach a step and then watch someone do it differently and have different ideas and different approaches. And that makes me approach like when I'm performing differently. Like being able to watch the amazing artists at John Proctor and being able to watch, I mean, everyone's such a genius. But like watching them develop their character and even within and definitely within the dance, sorry, within green light,
Mhm.
it's very character first. It has to be character first. So watching them think through that lens has helped me shape Ace even more now. Um, yeah, it's truly an honor to be able to be in spaces with such incredible actors and like and allowing it to like truly drip off onto me as a performer.
Yeah. I know I experience that too. I relate to that a lot because I'm a dance teacher as well. So like when
Hmm.
I teach children how to dance and like seeing their love for it and how they interpret different steps and add their own stylistic choices and make it their own, it's really like, wow, I never thought about it that way. Like let me try it
Yeah,
like this. And it's so special to see how like when you teach someone, you're helping them grow, but in a whole new way,
totally.
they also help you grow. And I just think that that's really special.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
So, what do you love most about being a choreographer? And is there a project you've choreographed that stands out as your favorite?
SG is here.
SG, former podcast guest for episode
Oh,
100,
Allison.
making a cameo.
Hi.
Hi. But yeah, what has been your favorite part about being a choreographer? And is there a project that you've choreographed that kind of stands out to you as your favorite or most meaningful?
Um, wait, you said what's my favorite part about being a choreographer? Is that
Yeah,
what you
favorite
said?
part about being choreographer, and then favorite piece you've choreographed or most meaningful to create.
Mm. Uh, I feel like I feel like I can't say what's most meaningful. That feels like that would be taking away from anyone that's not included. But I will but I will say that I do think actually Outsiders has probably been most meaningful to me in the way that it launched confidence and like being able to work around people who have been doing it for a while and then their belief in me. And I feel like the Coopermans and Johnny gave me so much space to have an opinion, which I don't think that happens often in a room. I think that the way in which it was such a collaborative space is very different than any other room I worked in. So that was like such a good launching pad for me. See that rooms could be that collaborative. So now I take that into every space that I work in. Obviously John Proctor holds such a special place in my heart too, though. And um being able to create for that in in a space with my friends because it was done I had a workshop for it first. And so I got to invite my dance friends and it was really just us like playing around as if we were teenagers again in the kitchen, and creating from that space was really fun. We were truly like children again, and there wasn't a lot of pressure either, which I expected there to be a lot of pressure because it was my first Broadway choreography endeavor, but I didn't feel pressure. It truly just felt like exactly what it was supposed to feel like, and I think exactly what audiences feel from it. Um, which is like a child, and just freedom by the end of it. I think it's yeah, it's stirring and when you see them dance, you want to be up there like doing it too. You
Yeah.
know what it feels like. You know that like teenage abandonment. Um, yeah, I don't think I answered your other question. I think
Oh
there
yeah.
was a co okay.
No, that was perfect. I know. I
Okay.
can attest to that. Like watching
Mhm.
that dance live, I had the honor of sitting in the front row and watching that dance, it took my breath away. Like there are no words to describe how much that dance meant to me. And also like
Mhm.
watching that up there in a play as a dancer as well, just
Mhm.
took my breath away. I've never cried harder in a theater. It was stunning. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Those actors they'll do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you made your Broadway debut in Moulin Rouge as a swing. So
Hmm.
what was your experience like making your Broadway debut in Moulin Rouge?
Oh my gosh, I blacked out. I just blacked out. I really did. All I really remember from my debut is running down the aisle. That's
Yikes.
what I remember. And I knew that that's kind of what would happen, but it was so grand. I feel like Moulin Rouge is so big. It's a spectacular. Very different than The Outsiders. That feels more intimate and yeah, but it was awesome. I felt super hot in my corset and fishnets and doing that ferocious dancing. And the originals of that cast were so brilliant and getting to see them and watch them do it every night uh was such a learning lesson for me. Hearing Karen Olivo sing Firework was incredible. Yeah, I can't believe that I got to watch them so much um, as a swing. And I loved being a swing, honestly. It was so fun. It was so fun to be able to switch up the tracks and keep my brain ignited.
Yeah. No, that takes me right into my next question because I definitely want to know. So, as a swing covering multiple roles, what was your process like learning and preparing for each track, especially in such a dance-heavy show?
Mm-hmm. For me, because because COVID happened. Like I booked and then a month later COVID happened. So I think I learned like two tracks in a month. Um, but as I came back in 2021 and I was figuring out my process, I learned for myself that it really helps to solidify one track first. And then you can start to learn things two at a time or three at a time. But I really think that that first track, your home base, you know, is really important to have. So that's like one piece of the puzzle that's full. People learn differently, but I felt like that was really important to me because then everything kind of like built off of like my um wherever my first track was in the space, I'd kind of like, okay, now this person's here, and I know that that one's here. So I can't be there, but I'm here, and each track got easier.
Oh, I know. I can never imagine swing brain, and especially like multiple roles in the same show, and especially like Moulin Rouge when you're constantly moving and dancing and it's such a
Yeah.
grand spectacle. I
Yeah.
applaud understudy swing standbys. It is the hardest job, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine how rewarding it is.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
So, can you walk us through what your Broadway debut day looked like from the moment you woke up to stepping on stage? What was going through your mind?
Oh, that was, I mean, honestly, it feels like so long ago now. So much life has happened since then. I mean, we made a full show in between my Broadway debut and like now. So I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm like really trying to think on that day. No, couldn't tell you. I know my grandparents were in town. That was really special.
Oh,
And
that's
so many people. Sarah Grace came to see my Broadway debut, which was really sweet. I feel
Aw.
like she's always been super supportive throughout the years. We've been friends for like I think 9 years now, maybe seven. I don't know. Um, yeah, but I don't know. I'm sorry, Allison. It was just
Oh, you're good. It was
so
so
many things
long
have
ago.
happened since then.
So much
Yeah,
life, so many incredible accomplishments.
yeah,
But like, what a
yeah.
show to debut in! Like,
I know.
that's amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
so you're currently starring in The Outsiders musical as Ace on Broadway, and you're also the associate choreographer and dance captain on the show. So can you share a little bit about your journey with The Outsiders from your audition process to where you are now?
hmm Um, yes. I am no longer dance captain because this year I was like, I think I'm just gonna because I was getting like John Proctor
Yeah.
and Trophy
Yeah,
Boys. I
that's
just felt like it would have been too much actually.
yeah.
And yeah. But so as for wait, what'd you say again? Sorry. Last
Your
part.
audition process to where you are now.
hmm
Can you just walk us through your
Okay.
journey? That's all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay. My audition process. So with Outsiders, I remember the first audition. We did a combination to Little Brother, and it was Justin on the track, Justin Levine, who helped create the songs with Jamestown, the composers. Um, and it was really awesome and contemporary and athletic, and the Coopermans like created something that was so fun. And then whoever got selected for a callback then had partnering. And the partnering was, I mean, the room was so full and and it was full of dancers that I like admired and who were friends, and it was just like this reunion. And I remember us having, and it was very it was hard. The combination was super hard, and I partnered with Rennie actually, which is really funny.
Oh, that's so full circle.
Yeah, I partnered with Rennie. Yeah. And I remember after we did it, he was like, "We booked this." And I was like, "Okay, like not too much, not too much." But he was right.
He was right. I
And
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
He was saying he's so confident. He's so confident. Yeah, so then I mean we sang. I was very, very nervous about that. And we had to read a couple sides. I remember, Danya sits everyone down to chat with them before they sing or read. And I remember her asking me, like, the first thing she asked me was, "So I hear you've like started to choreograph." And I was like, "I've been choreographing, honey." And I literally said that to her, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy that that came out that way," because I don't even know what I was thinking. But she laughed, and we both laughed, and that was the start of our relationship. And then I think a week later, the Coopermans called me after booking it.
Mhm.
So a week after booking it, the Coopermans called me and asked if I wanted to be the associate for the Daryl Roth. So it was like a week and a half, or sorry, a week and a half, a month and a half of building this show. Um, and so we were at Gibney, and then we had a show at the Daryl Roth, or a showing at the Daryl Roth. And I said yes, obviously. And it was super fun. It was obviously very hard because I was in it and then also trying to step outside of it. And an associate's work is usually more hands-on with numbers, what numbers you're on, where plank one goes to, and I had a hard time balancing that. So they brought on Kristen Carconi. And Kristen also very much so an incredible mind, creative mind. Um, and she joined us in La Jolla. So then we got to balance a little bit more. And I got to be more, on stage and helping generate material. Uh, and when I could, I helped with like charts and stuff. Um, yeah, Ace didn't get developed until La Jolla. At the Daryl Roth, there was no Ace. Um, and there wasn't much dancing yet. I was the literal fire, so I had like a smoke thing on my back, and I would like dance around, and I was the fire, and I was like kind of, I think Johnny was like chasing me, the fire and the little girl actually. So there's been many, many iterations of this fire, and I'm going on a tangent now, so I don't know
No, I
if
didn't
I'm
know this.
off
I love
topic.
it. Please keep
I'm
going.
I'm constantly going off topic.
No,
Okay,
I love it.
so okay. I posted this for the Tonys, I think. I posted like a little clip of it.
How did I not see this?
Yeah, it's like in a dump, like a Tony dump.
Okay, I have to
But
find this.
yeah, yeah, you'll find it. Yeah, so the fire started out actually as, and I got a little burn on my back from that little smoke machine. Yeah, it was
Oh,
crazy. Anyways, that got ixnayed once we moved to La Jolla, and then we had this like floating set that was the church in La Jolla, and that it would like wave, it was just not, it wasn't the right choice that we made. And we tried so hard to do whatever, and I was the little girl in La Jolla, not the smoke anymore, not the fire, but just the little girl. And it was really funny. And I think that's also in my Tony jump. But yeah, and then the fire came about, and it's incredible now.
oh, look at that.
And now that we're working on the tour, it's getting even better.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, even though they won't have fire, but it's still really, it's so cool. So crazy to think about that journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm off topic now. So, yeah,
No,
what was the journey? What was the journey?
yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's the
went from
journey.
Daryl Roth to La Jolla to Broadway, and now it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So before getting cast in the show, were you at all familiar with the story? And then why did you feel the need to be part of telling it and bringing it to the stage?
Great question. No, I had no idea what The Outsiders was about. I had never read it. I didn't read it until like they gave it to us on the first day at the Daryl Roth.
Mhm.
So I read it that week, the first week of that workshop. But I think I felt like I needed to be a part of it because of the team, like being in a room with them. I could tell, I don't know, it was something from the very beginning. I felt this like really magical, like I felt the collaboration from the very beginning. I felt like the excitement of the team from the very beginning and the newness. Like I just knew that everyone wanted to do something that was kind of out of the box, something different. And I just wanted to be a part of that energy. I knew the story was gonna be, I mean, the outsiders. I knew that it had something to do with people who felt like they were on the outside. And I have often felt we all feel that way at some point. So clearly the story is going to resonate, you know? But I definitely felt like I was an outsider in this industry for a while just because of like my dance background and not growing up in it. You know, people would talk about plays and musicals and I'd be like, "What?" Like this was never my wheelhouse. So there has been this kind of like learning curve for me um with it. And I think it also comes with an advantage too to not um know the rules of the industry too and to be able to kind of like just go have your own path, go down that path, um, and trust that path. Because I think I think it, I think it was nice to just I felt called to it, but I didn't really know why yet. And now I know all the reasons why. You know, it kind of just unfolded for me.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about the show so much is getting to hear about people's past because some people knew they were going to pursue it forever, and then some people stumbled upon it in high school, and some people stumbled upon it when they were even older. And that's what I love so much about the industry in general is like you don't have to go to school for theater or dance
Mhm.
or voice. Like you can go to school for whatever and it'll fall into your lap. I always say being bit by the theater bug is the greatest gift a person could ever get.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So, having been with the show since the La Jolla production, how do you feel that both you and Ace have evolved and grown over time with the show?
Yeah. Well, in La Jolla, we really wanted to start carving it out. I feel like the Daryl Roth got us more time. Like there was more time spent with the principals, obviously. Like they wanted to really like understand Pony Boy, you know, the Curtis brothers in general. And a lot of it was spent on Dally. We were like carving out Dally's story quite a bit. And I really felt like uh um yeah, Dally's story is so beautiful. And actually to me is the story like the hero story in a way. Um yeah. And so Ace came about when we had a little bit more, we had a little more space in La Jolla. And I remember Adam Rapp asking me what I want her to be called. And they were like, Tilly? And I was like, no, I don't think that her name should be Tilly. Um, so they were like, okay, well, let us know if you think of something. And it came to me at like 2 a.m. in the morning that my actual initials are Ace. Alexis is my real name. Charisse is my middle name. Evans, and then Krieger at the end. But, you know, just remove the K, it's Ace. So I was like, it has to be Ace. It'll just be Ace. And then I started looking into well, we were like, okay, is it the ace of spades, the girl's room? We were like, is it the ace of spades, is it the ace of hearts, whatever. And I was like, I think it's the ace of spades, it's a MasterCard, it's the card, right?
Yeah.
um and then I also looked up, which this is in my ace lore.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that next.
Yeah. But I looked up the significance of that card and I was like, this is correct. Um, yeah, so when it comes, I feel like I'm still finding, I feel like the relationships are obviously what makes every character important, how we relate to one another. But I'm still finding them. Like I feel like they're ever evolving, ever changing, and it's really awesome. I don't even think I had an understanding of what they really were in La Jolla. I think there's an actual ground now to what everyone means to me, who everyone is to me, that I didn't even find in La Jolla.
Mm.
Um, and now they get to evolve and deepen. Yeah. And it's so crazy because we're like a year and a half in or more, and I'm still like, okay, and everyone feels like family, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy how things shift depending on like where you stand in the space. And we have the freedom to kind of choose because Danya has allowed us that freedom. Yeah.
I relate to that so much because I read the book in seventh grade. And
Hmm.
I remember relating so much to the Soch girls like Cherry and Marcia, and then relating to the greasers. But I was also like yearning for that female greaser kind of energy.
Hmm.
So when
Hmm.
I saw the musical and I found out about Ace, I was like, this is so important that we have a female greaser and a new character
Hmm.
to introduce to this story. And
Hmm.
like the amount of incredibleness that she just adds to the outsiders is just, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. I also like I've been compared to anybody's a lot, but I don't think that Ace and anybody's
Yeah.
are similar actually. It's so interesting because yes, they're both it depends on what anybody's we go with. If we go with the Steven Spielberg anybody's, then we're dealing with someone who is trans, someone who wants to fit in with more of a mask group and they don't accept them. So
Mhm.
I don't I I really wanted it to not, but it's just because, oh, it's like this femme image of someone in a masculine group that we're just going to compare it to the thing that we know.
Mhm.
But I really wanted Ace to be not just masculine, like not just one of the guys, but I wanted her to be also proud of the woman that she is. The girl, of course, she's like 16, but I wanted her to like be powerful in her feminine too. I thought that was really important.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to dive more into that, and I want to ask what your experience has been like portraying the role of Ace since Ace wasn't part of the original book or the movie, but has such an important role in the musical. So how did Ace kind of come to life? And can you share a little bit about your experience writing Ace lore and how you developed and originated this incredible character?
I'm sorry, Cole just came in and dropped off a cookie.
Oh,
Can
Cole!
you can you say that? Well, I know that was a lot, but can you just say it one more
I
time?
can no, 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 of course. This is my most excited question to ask you. So, what's
Hmm.
your experience like portraying the role of Ace since Ace wasn't part of the original book or the movie, but has such an important role in the musical? How did Ace kind of come to life? And can you share a little bit about your experience writing Ace lore and how you
Hmm.
developed and originated this incredible character?
Okay. I remember going up to Danya the first day at the Daryl Roth and being like, or like the first day we read through it, and I was like, is there any room for women of color in this story? Because it doesn't feel like it. It's not written in the book. And yeah, I was just like, I don't know, there just doesn't feel like there's space here. And Danya was like, we're gonna make space. We're gonna make space. So they made space for Ace, um, which I have definitely taken on as like um the weight of that and the importance of that. Um, yeah, and I feel like I maybe answered some of this with the rant that I just went on. So can you just refresh me again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
My
of course.
mind really blanks out like so much, so I'm
Cool.
sorry about that.
You're good. No, I want to dive a little bit more into like how Ace kind of came to fruition and how you kind of originated this character because you didn't have the original
Right.
source material to kind of turn to. And then why did you
Hmm.
want to dive into writing Ace lore and kind of sharing that with
Mm.
everyone?
Yeah. Okay. So I think when it came to I feel like it was a lot of like having to push. Like I felt like I had to push to like make space throughout the entirety of the process, honestly. It felt like because I think being around guys in this industry for sure, but I think like in general, there's a confidence that they walk with. And I've been observing it now for like a couple of years. You know, Moulin Rouge was a very different atmosphere, very like feminine forward, women heavy, and like just like the powerful, like feminine energy. And then flipping it on its head and going to this, where it's very much so a masculine story. Um, or just a bunch of boys, you know, a lot of guys. I've learned a lot from the guys and how they maneuver through the space. And I think I had to kind of teach myself to step into this power that it feels like they innately have. And that was kind of Ace in general. I think that that's something that Ace observed. That's something that she wanted to become. Um, she wanted to be heard. Um, and so that is a lot of her character is like wanting to fit in with the guys and then also like um wanting to be a nurturer still. Like where we can't soften, I'm gonna soften. And like I'm gonna like look after Johnny and make sure he's okay. Because I see Dally doing it, but I wanna check in. I'm gonna make sure he's okay. I'm gonna make sure Pony Boy's okay. And I'm gonna get someone who, like I don't think Tuvit really talks about his feelings a lot. But you know what? I'm gonna try to get Tuvit to talk about his feelings a little bit more. So I feel like there is this nurturing side still to Ace, but then there is this wanting to kind of like take on the confidence of all the guys that she sees around her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then the Ace lore. A lot of that is like I think in La Jolla, when I was actually thinking about like childhood, the way I grew up, which was with a bunch of guys, and um, it was very rowdy. I wasn't like watched a lot. I didn't have a lot of supervision. Um, so honestly, like having to pull or like wanting to pull from some of my childhood, I I just started writing. I just started writing the things that were coming up for me. And it was more like a therapeutic exercise, but then became a story. So some of that is true and some of that is not true in there.
Oh, it was
Mhm.
so beautifully written, and it was so
Thank you.
special too because like I fell in love with these characters at such a young age, and getting to kind
Mm.
of watch the transformations as the movie kind of came to fruition and the musical as well. It was so cool to be introduced to a completely new story and kind of get to know that character, and it was just written so beautifully and kind of gave us insight into Ace's mind, so that was so
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
I'm so appreciative of that.
Thank you.
So, can you walk us through what your responsibilities are as associate choreographer on the show and what it's like to do all of that while actually performing in the show and being in it?
hmm So, as the associate choreographer, help maintain. Now, I help maintain the show because it's already a working machine. So when we have brush up rehearsals, I will help remind us what the core of the movement is. And every once in a while, I'll swing out to note the show, just make sure it's maintaining itself. Um, in the beginning, I helped generate movement with the Coopermans. Um, and I gave creative input for whatever they needed. And like I said, it was a very collaborative space and still is with Danya. So she doesn't do where like you stay in your own lane and like you only do the movement. Like there was constant like sharing of ideas with everything. And you can see that in the show, how it like morphs and like weaves together. I think that's what collaboration looks like. Um, yeah. So, and then now, because we have a tour, I am helping teach some of the material.
Oh, that's incredible. So full circle.
hmm
Awesome. So, what is your favorite part about Ace and getting to tell this beloved story on Broadway?
Um, my favorite part about Ace, probably getting thrown around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part about Ace. Getting to tell this story on Broadway, just definitely all of the people that we get to impact. Yeah, I think I think it's easy to forget like how important this story is because we do it every single day. But then like hearing from people, honestly, fans who reach out to me online, I don't over always respond and I'm not the most extroverted when it comes to like doing the stage door because I'm like so exhausted not just from this show but like the energy of New York and then maybe doing different jobs on the side too. So I don't always have the energy to see everyone, but I deeply appreciate the words that I receive back. And it reminds me of how much this story impacts people. Yeah, the fans are really, really important, obviously, but I feel like I don't sometimes I feel bad about like not being able to stage door because I do really love giving my energy to the fans, but I wish I could more, but I also like don't want to spend I don't want to be spent, because I have to do this show every night. Yeah,
Yeah, it's such a heavy show, and like you said, it's so impactful, and it's truly one of my favorite things I've ever seen on a stage. It's
so
stunning.
sweet.
Do you have a favorite scene, song, or moment in the show that you look forward to performing each night?
Um, I think that hmm, I'm like, oh, I feel like I look forward to doing the roles in the Rumble with Melody
Yeah.
because we just like make each other laugh so hard. I actually really love the opening number. I love it. I love like the very first like steps that the greasers do. And honestly, just making eye contact with these people. A lot of us are still originals and it won't always be like this. I know that people are gonna start like petering off and it's just it's nice that people are still here, like the people that we created this with and it'll be just as special, like when new people come, but there's nothing like that bond of process and I'm still like living in that, you know, like just we have this bond that'll last for life and yeah, the eye contact is everything.
Yeah, my theater teacher growing up, she always said that the process is the star. The show's the
Yeah.
but the process is the star. So yeah,
It's
it's
so
so
true.
special.
It's so
When you
true.
get to be on a Broadway stage from rehearsal room to Broadway stage, it's so special that those are the people that you do with every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is your favorite part and most challenging part about being in the show?
Most challenging is my body, for sure. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And when I created, or when I was, yeah, when I was creating this track, I was like peak, like working out with a trainer every day, or not every day, but like twice a week, and had the time. I wasn't like, I wasn't choreographing other things. Like my focus was just outsiders. So yeah, that's where I created it from. So maintaining that's really hard when I have seven other things that I'm doing, or like I need to do, I don't know, like adult things.
Yeah.
So the balance of everything is hard, and but mostly like my body and the recovery that I need, and yeah, the timing of everything. Wait, sorry, the most challenging, I said that, and then
And
what was the other?
favorite.
Oh,
Favorite.
favorite. My favorite. I'm like, it's all challenging.
Yeah.
It's so challenging. No, it really is. It really is so challenging.
Broadway is rewarding, but it's so hard. 8 days
It's
a week is
so hard.
insane.
It's so hard. I think that my favorite thing is the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. My favorite thing is the people. And like I said, there's really nothing like doing a show with people who like just know it so well now
Yeah.
too, that we get to like just play on stage. We're not like worried. There's no prep. It doesn't feel like there's pressure to impress, right? It's just like we're just having fun and people vibe off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what has been your highlight moment in The Outsiders so far?
Probably, oh, I mean, obviously like winning the Tony was pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like I've never felt anything like that when Cynthia Erivo and um
Idina Menzel, you got it.
Adina Menzel
You got it. You got it.
announced, I know, but Cynthia.
But
Um
it's Cynthia, of
I
course.
know,
Of
but it's
course.
Cynthia.
Of course.
Yeah, when they announced our musical, that was like the craziest feeling ever.
Yeah.
Um yeah, the like just like so proud and grateful to be recognized, I think. Or the Cheetah Rivera Award. It's
Yeah.
probably, yeah, something that I don't know. It's like, it's the only thing that really recognizes dancers as individuals. And so I mean, I worked my butt off. I work my butt off, but like this track it's pretty crazy. And so I'm grateful that it was recognized. And that I created something that I think like many dancers are going to be excited to be up for the challenge. I think it's an exciting challenge for the Broadway performer who is like wanting to eat down in choreography.
Yes, eat
Yeah.
down. Thank you, choreo. So, speaking of choreo, you're the
Yeah.
movement director for John Proctor's The Villain on Broadway and choreographed
Yeah.
a stunning green light dance, truly one of my
Mhm.
favorite pieces. What was
Thank
your process like creating it, knowing how significant it is to the story?
Oh my gosh, when I like read the story and saw that there was a like the dances at the end and that's like the main event,
And
I was
yeah,
like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
yeah,
How do you even
yeah.
what do you do? So this is my process in general, but everything leading up to the moment where I was actually in the studio, I was pure panicking. And that's just like kind of what happens now. Someone asked me to choreograph, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'm pure panicking. And then I get into the studio and then I feel like it just kind of like flows and I don't think too deeply about things and it kind of just comes out of my body. And I don't judge it I don't judge it and I don't hold on to things too tightly. And I really do feel um, like the universe is really working through me in those moments, if you're spiritual at all. But yeah, uh, like I said earlier, I worked with some of my friends who are incredible dancers, Gabby Diaz, Jennifer Florentino, who else was there? Christine Shepard, Lennon Hernandez, uh, so many people. But Gabby Diaz and Jennifer Florentino were playing Shelby and Raylan. So two girlies that I'm super comfortable with, and we were just playing, like we were truly playing when we were creating the work. Um, and and understanding like where these characters were coming from obviously was really important, but I didn't want it to be like so heavy that there's no need for it to be heavy. These are teenage girls creating a dance. So what does that mean? It means that it's probably like on the nose, like makeup. I feel like that's what was like when we were creating dances as teenagers, it was always like on the nose. Which I love. And then also like quirky. These like Shelby is so weird. And like I don't know. I think they're both really weird and they think differently. And once Ray has that like monologue when she's finally like, you know what? Like John Proctor does suck. Like he doesn't even tell Abby that he's sorry, like that
Mhm.
you finally understand, like, because Ray, I feel like, kind of gets tripped up in her words so much, which I feel like when you hear that monologue at the end, right before the dance, you're like, oh my God, this girl is incredible, and she's finally getting to spit out the words that she really has been like holding in, or she couldn't talk about because she was scared. So watching her really open up at the end there is really beautiful with the monologue and the dance. Um, but yeah, I think, collaborating with Tanya on like the moments that we really wanted to hit hard, it pretty much stayed the same from the workshop.
Mhm.
Um, but I think one of the biggest moments that Danya helped me with was the Mr. Smith crossing to almost get Shelby and Miss G. We were having trouble. I was having trouble with like figuring out where we wanted that to be. It used to be downstage, like just straight across, but that wasn't working. Like, duh, that makes sense that it wasn't working. Why would it work? But the fact that he's almost getting to her and then it's
Oh,
like, yeah, that moment is really insane to me.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think those little beats were they took a little bit longer to figure out because we wanted to see which ones were most impactful. The dancing part I feel like came really naturally. Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
told Noah and Victoria too after seeing the show. I was like, the dance being last was just the most powerful thing. And I was like, everyone was
Mhm.
getting ready for curtain call and like I was weeping like on the floor. I took
Yeah.
a second to like collect
Right.
myself. I was like, that was the
Yeah.
most impactful thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen. And the way that
Yeah.
dance all fits in there, and like I always say that like when I dance, you can say 1,000 words with one dance move and you get
Right.
transported to this whole new world. And that was really like seeing that right in front of me was just the most
Yeah.
gorgeous thing.
Yeah, I feel like Kimberly really set us up for that. Like I I don't know. I think it took actually like seeing the play on its feet took the pressure off the dance because it didn't matter anymore. Like these, as long as you felt freedom by this dance, as long as you felt release, then you couldn't lose, you know? Then there was nothing to be afraid of because they just like spilled their guts.
Yeah.
And then the exorcism at the end, it's like it all everything just made sense.
Ooh, and with the lights, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were also the movement director for Trophy Boys at MCC
Yeah.
Theater. So what
Yeah.
went into movement directing this show, and what was that overall experience like for you?
Oh my God, Trophy Boys. First of all, those four actors are hilarious. Working with them was like the funniest. I mean, everything felt like they could make a joke out of literally anything. I just wanted to be around them like 24/7. That Trophy Boys was a little like once again, didn't think too much about it. We created the phrase in like um one like pass and it was actually really collaborative. I was like, I want this to feel like, add on. Yeah, have you played that game, add on? You do move, then you do move, then you do move.
Yeah.
Um, and then and I wanted it, and actually the playwright, and she was also in it. Um, the playwright, they were also in it. Um, they wrote down like all of the information that I needed. So I'm reading like the stage direction to like get clues on what the movement should feel like, should look like, what emotions are trying to be provoked, and and said it should feel like their thoughts are making them come alive and making them feel aroused. And so we worked with like the notebooks and like they did funny things with the notebooks and then just like amplified and like just kept one up each other until finally they were in this boy band group like doing an actual phrase. And I don't know, it was a blast. And also just like that material, the script and how it kind of overlapped with Proctor in ways was really like mind-blowing to me. Um, yeah, I feel Danya has said this before, but I do feel like doing Outsiders and John Proctor and then Trophy Boys kind of met us in the middle,
Mm.
um, and was super necessary, I think, for our psyches. Like felt like a full on like trilogy, like culmination, you know?
It's incredible that you got to do those three together. So,
Yeah.
so incredible. So, out of all the roles you stepped into, are there a few that particularly stand out to you for specific reasons?
Um, Out of all the roles I've stepped into, uh, I mean, Ace stands out to me, obviously. I feel like Ace is actually the first role that I've really gotten to play because usually ensemble people, not usually, but there aren't many shows where the ensemble have names or the ensemble have a perspective, you
Mm.
know. A lot of shows you are, you know, helping the story move along, but you don't have a name or you're the story is more about coloring the world, where we do that in this show, but we also have a perspective and a thought process. How we feel towards Pony, how he feels towards us, and all the other characters. So Ace has been by far the most impactful role that I've had to step into.
So special. Would you say that there's a particular project or moment that you feel truly defined you as an artist?
Um, yeah, this one
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, this one's a really,
Outsider.
really special one. Oh,
Hmm.
such a special place in my heart. So, in honor of you being the guest for the Inspiration Show's 100th episode, if you could relive any moment from your career 100 times,
Oh
what?
my God. Okay. Oh man, that's so hard. That's really hard. I mean, oh my gosh. I feel like Oh, I don't know. That's so difficult because I mean I obviously like would say honestly the Tony performance was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Like performing at Lincoln Center and just like the way we felt that entire day. But I think if I were to do one moment of that performance, then it would probably be like the feeling of laying there at the end of the Rumble. The rain is still going, and like we're about to exit, but we're just like in silence, like laying for a split second. Yeah.
That's the like, you did it moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So, looking back on everything you have achieved in this industry, what advice would you give your younger self entering the industry?
Mm. I think that my younger self was so wise. And I think that I would continue to just, which I think I was telling myself this back then, but I have, like I said, I have felt like an outsider with the way that I view, or the way I came into this industry. And I don't think I think we can get trapped into thinking that we want things that we know nothing about, like shows that we know nothing about, but it's supposed to be this, you know, the best show, but it could be the best show for someone else, maybe not for you, and you didn't get it. So I think like trying not to hold on to those rejections or those no's and just knowing that the right door is going to open for you. And so there's no reason to like hold on to and um, be too rigid about the way your career is supposed to go. Just allow it to unfold.
Yeah. I truly believe that what's meant for you won't pass you by.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tilly, thank you so much for joining me on the Inspiration Show. Words truly cannot describe how much it means to me and what a guiding light you've been for me. I'm in constant awe of your incredible talent, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get to look up to you and watch you shine. It was truly such an honor to have you here. Thank you for inspiring me.
Thanks, Allison. Thank you so much. You're just the best, and your words really mean so much. You're so kind, so sweet. This has meant so much to me. Thank you for taking the time
You're the
to
greatest.
ask me all these questions.
Oh, you're the